Would you like to create content that captivates and then converts into customers? Would you like to create content that is so good people want more and know paying you is the wise thing to do? And would you like to create content that is easier than you ever made but has a bigger impact than you've ever had? Today, you are going to discover 3 ways to create content that captivates, convinces, and converts into customers. And I'm going to base this off 2 of the best speakers to ever live. So it all started when I had the idea to make this video. Have you ever been going through life and then just suddenly you get this brilliant idea? That's what happened to me. Looking at the note in my phone, it was my mum's birthday early in the morning. Maybe it was the joy of knowing the whole family is going to be together in a few hours for a nice afternoon meal. Maybe it was the joy of sharing a solution with you that solves a major problem you face with this new content. Maybe it was both and other things, but a glorious idea came to mind. This is going to be a great video. I'll show how to make content that captivates and it convinces and it converts into customers. And this video is going to solve a massive problem for people. And the video is called Solomon and Jesus versus Tertullus and Tobiah. Wait, who did you say? See? I know what you're thinking. As soon as the idea rushed into my mind, I knew I had gold. I mean immediately. My mind was racing at how good this video will be because I got it right away. But then as time went on, I thought about it more. I love the Bible and I want to go deep into the Bible, and a title like Solomon and Jesus versus Tertullus and Tobiah makes sense to me. I want everybody to know about Tertullus. He was a man that tried to get the apostle Paul killed in the book of Acts. He was this eloquent speaker who used all these big words to sound deep, but failed in his mission. I want you to know about Tobiah. He was a man that tried to kill God's people and stop them building God's temple in the book of Nehemiah. But the truth is, in that moment, I was being like Tertullus, eloquent, deep, and destined to fail. And the truth is, if you saw the picture and the title, Solomon and Jesus versus Tertullus and Tobiah, you'd get confused. You see, as I thought about making this video, I had Jesus and Solomon on the mind. King Solomon is King David's son. He's the wisest man to ever live. And Jesus is, well, God in the flesh, the one who gave Solomon the wisdom. The Bible says in Jesus dwells all the hidden treasures of wisdom and knowledge. I've been thinking about how they were so wise. They're so smart, but at the same time, so effective at captivating and converting people. And this was when it hit me hard. A title like Solomon and Jesus versus Tertullus and Tobiah is about me, not about you. There's a lot of assumptions I'm making with a title like that. I'm assuming people know who Tertullus is, who Tobiah is. I'm assuming people are interested in those things, and that's why only a few people would get it. I've learned to make less assumptions. It's so much easier for you to get how to create content that captivates and converts into customers. You want to captivate and you want more customers. It's not confusing at all. And that's content that's made for you. Imagine you're at a conference with thousands of people and this guy right next to you is choking to death from food stuck in his throat. You're the only one who knows how to do the Heimlich, but you're afraid to do it in front of everyone. Then more and more people start dropping out around you. You wouldn't let them die because you know that's evil. You'd put your fear aside and save their lives. That is exactly what it's like when you share what only you can for the people God sent you to serve. You give them life. So the first thing you need to do in your content to captivate and convert into customers is tell stories. Solomon and Jesus were so effective at captivating and converting because they didn't overwhelm. They did not overwhelm their audience with things people didn't understand. They told stories. I told you the story of how I made this video, the story of the conference. Stories are simple ideas that have massive impact. The next thing is powerful, and I broke it down into 3 sections. I told you already that I was thinking about King Solomon recently. He's the wisest man to ever live. And I've been thinking about Jesus, the greatest to ever live. And the question I've been thinking about is, how did these 2 great people speak? How did they captivate and convert? The more I thought about this question, 3 things came to mind. These 3 things sum up the second thing you must do. That is if you really want to captivate and convert people into customers. And these 3 things lead you nicely to the third thing you'll discover today that helps you captivate and convert into customers. One of the things I told you about already was to tell stories. King Solomon wrote Ecclesiastes, for example, a book with a story about a man that has experienced life to the full. He writes about his experience with pleasures, with money, with women. He tells the story of most of his life, up until the point where he realizes everything is pointless in life. Everything is pointless in life if it's not about God. King Solomon wrote the Song of Solomon, for example, a book with a story about romance. It's kind of like Romeo and Juliet. Not only did Solomon and Jesus tell stories, they kept things simple. Stories are simple. Parables are short stories with deep meanings. Parables are simple. In the book Talk Like Ted, Carmine Gallo says something mind-blowing. He says, you can't wow your audience if they don't understand you. Einstein said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. So I say, speaking simply is how you get the crowd to go wow. Solomon and Jesus had this mastered, and it's no surprise they were so effective at captivating audiences and converting them. But the third thing they did, which sums up step 2 for you, was vital, because this talk about converting into customers can leave a negative taste in the mouth. You can easily mistake me for saying you are like forcing people to do what you want. It's actually the opposite. Solomon and Jesus, they served and were not salesy. You'll see that you don't need to be salesy to convert people into customers when you captivate them. It's like my book. You will rarely find me saying, go to 50successsecrets.com. It's rare you'll find me anywhere online saying, go and buy my book. It feels cringe to do things like that. And we all know what it feels like to have someone trying to shove their product down your throat. I'll mention what I have, but I choose to focus on service, because the more content out there serving the winners God sent me to serve, it will take care of itself. When people know that my book is only $25 plus $7.95 shipping and handling, but shows them how to make the next year of their life, the best year of their life, some buy. And that's because they want me to serve them even more than my free stuff. It's either they want it or they don't. Just help and they'll decide what they want to do. I stopped seeking validation for myself based on who bought my stuff or who didn't. When you switch from all roads lead to the sell to serve whether you get the sell or not, everything changes. Solomon and Jesus were so smart, but they knew stories that are simple and served summed up step 2. And step 2 is that simple solutions solve severe sickness. Give the people the simple solutions. That is what wows them, not trying to look deep, which overwhelms and confuses them. Be born again, simple solution. Be wise, simple solution. The third way to captivate and to convert people into customers is one I know all too well. When I first became a Christian, after a couple of months, I started reading the Bible a lot. I would spend nights blowing through pages in the Bible. I was hooked. I read and read and read. Some nights I would read for hours and it would start to get light outside. I loved the Bible from the beginning. I felt like I was behind. I needed to catch up. And all the stories were captivating. The creation, Abraham traveling around telling people his wife is his sister so they don't kill him for her. The flood, Moses getting put in a basket and sent away and ending up in Pharaoh's house. Samson, a man with super strength. Solomon, the smartest man to ever live. David, a man that kills giants. Jacob, the man who has a fight with God and won. He won. And then God changes his name to Israel. We have the same name. These things kept me gripped night after night. But it was the miracles that blew me away. Jesus turned water to wine. God stopped the sun from moving for a part of the day. He created the universe. He did all these glorious things, and I believed it. I believed it all. I knew God created me to teach the Bible, but because I saw all these miracles, I really believed God was going to miraculously put me on the map. He saw my heart, and I knew I wanted to serve him. I knew I was going to impact millions of people one day in the future, and I really believed that God would miraculously do it. And deep down inside, thinking and believing he could and would do that stopped me from going all in. If I pushed too hard, God wouldn't do it. So I held myself back and didn't do as much as I knew I could or should. That was until I realized God's miracles always come off the back of people doing things he's told them to do. It's like Solomon thinking, everyone's gonna know that I'm the wisest man to ever live without me ever being wise for people to see it. It's like Jesus saying the cross is going to just happen like that without all the steps he took to get there. The third way to captivate and convert into customers is stars start sharing, so success starts showing up. When you follow these 3 ways to captivate and convert like Solomon and Jesus, you will start to get the results you are looking for. Now, I know creating great content can take time, And that's what stops many. That's why you should use the biblical success system to get things done when you don't have as much time. That's a video that will help you a lot. Go win, and God bless winners.